black man in America, the Pangea, native land inheritor, land of the free, home of the slaves, the paradox, pondering why Pandora's box was there unlocked. Watch, W-E-B, breathe air in your beats and air it out. So honest, even psychologists sitting there in shock, in awe, taking your all, hitting hearts. I see your guard, if you hitting that all, take it off, feel me? Feel me? There's too much to leave in the wind. There's a kid that's scared to follow his dream. I'm speaking to him or her. I prefer to be heard than be a prophet deterred, because a prophet's deferred. I'm trying to win, I'ma work to see you having the happiness you deserve. Prosperity is encouraged, I'm grading you on a curve. I'd bend to see you win from a loss, and then my only reward will be you passing this on. Take off. I got into hip hop because my older brother did it. I kind of just wanted to be like him. It seemed like a cool thing to do. I was 9, so I would say 1999. I was kind of like rapping over instrumentals. He would bring home like instrumental CDs, or if I saw he was writing to something, I would write to that and ask him if I could be on it. He would always say no. It's just funny. We're on Austin Place and 147th in the Bronx. I haven't been here in at least a year or two. Super close to the Ardak BX where I was born, and I'm about to show you guys a little tour. This whole strip is a bunch of factories and storage places for food, and even Hunts Point. We hold most of the food from New York, and I think a lot of it for the whole country. But it's just ironic because we can't afford most of the fresh produce that we store. So the Ardak BX is a community center in the South Bronx. The idea came from a group called the Rebel Diaz, and had the idea to make this safe space for hip hop and art to grow in the place where there's not many opportunities like that. So the Ardak BX was a safe alternative where we taught people how to do Photoshop or Pro Tools or just photography in general. And this was originally the first place where we did it. It ended, we actually got kicked out like 2 years ago now.
This is the end of an era for this physical space, as it has been violently taken away from us.
I was like a 16-year-old kid, and they were like, hey, we're doing this and we have a studio. And I was like, oh, I get to rap, I get to record? Hell yeah, I'm down, you know?
I done planted a single apple to sing this album. Do you think you have what it takes to shape the masses? Do you have the strength to crack and break your ribs to make it happen?
How are you? Good, good.
For a freaking fishing atom bomb, boy, that's the only answer after martial law.
So yeah, when it was running, it was just super lively. The door was always open, and there were always people inside. Music playing, just like a good energy. This was where all the blood, sweat, and tears went, you know. It's really difficult to find that in New York City. It's kind of sad, actually.
The cloud was Stevie Wonder, ripping in the sky. Whoever said evolution was just a theory was clearly living in fear. My nigga started from an atom, now we here.
The next stop is Longwood Avenue.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Right now we're in Hunts Point, where I was raised, where I still am raised. Definitely undergoing a transformation. The school is brand new, like 2 years, maybe a year. When new schools come in, new people come in, rent rises. They've got a bunch of like mobile police units, just like transplanted in different areas of the neighborhood. One to kind of like tone down violence, prostitution, drugs, also to harass and drive the people that live here out, you know? I think gentrification is problematic because it's pushing the people that created a culture and just like have been living here forever. They're getting pushed out because they can't afford to live here anymore. Especially in the Bronx, a borough that's been literally burning. People have lived through it and pushed through it for years. When the neighborhood gets rebuilt, they get kicked out, you know? They can't even afford to enjoy, like when the neighborhood they went through the worst with, like, gets better. They gotta find somewhere else to start new.
Feel that? There's urgency in the air. Emergency flares falling in front of foreign affairs. Feel it? noticed your fear, you're scared to hear it. But if I'm not there, then I'm there in spirit.
Spofford and Barretto. This is where the Rebel Diaz legacy in New York begins. So I've lived in Hunts Point my whole life, and then this group, Rebel Diaz, comes into the neighborhood. We were so just excited about making a change, like a real change, that we were automatically down to do it. This is the site of the Rebel Diaz crew. What up, man?
In 2008 is when the RDAC BX is founded, you know what I'm saying? And really, it's cool that we even here because it came out of this community from Hunts Point. You know what I mean? It was a local crew of just MCs, DJs, activists, organizers that we all came together behind the idea of like, you can't just oppose, you gotta propose. We took over an abandoned candy factory space that, you know, was an eyesore to the community and turned it into something beautiful. We made something out of nothing. Everybody came in, and from there we started doing community events, workshops, open mics, you know, got the Boogie Mic series, and then people started noticing. And that's really been the idea that we all kind of live by, is just like, yo, we can't sit here and wait for the system to come save us. We gotta just start doing things in our community, do something, you know what I'm saying?
In a neighborhood where the after school activities getting stopped and frisked by NYPD, for us, we just felt that idea of kind of creating a safe space for our alternative culture to be practiced, to be consumed, and for young people to tell their stories. You know what I mean? We always talk about, man, you know, mainstream hip-hop, this and that. All right, so you're going to criticize it. What's the alternative you're proposing? What type of infrastructure are you creating in order to create that alternative? You know what I mean? So for us, it was about providing that infrastructure, providing an alternative, and providing a safe space for young people to do that at.
Fast forward, 2013, we're everywhere in the Bronx. And I think that for us is that the collective that came out of that space is a crew of young people that are trying to change the world, you know, through small steps, but we're working on it. And that's the spirit of the RDAC BX.
We're looking to keep creating new music. I really want to take exponential leaps this year, musically. And for the RDAC, we're just gonna keep building community through the arts. And I'm gonna move forward as not only an example of that, but like a spokesperson, almost keep spreading the word, you know?
I'm not saying I'm gonna rule the world, that I'm gonna change the world. But I guarantee